So great to see your faces. We got an exciting one today. We're gonna go through the best tips on how to build your way into riding waves on a wing foil. Let's do it.
Thanks so much guys for joining us today. We are going in the water to teach you how to ride waves wing foiling. As you can see behind me, there is quite some waves breaking today, so that's not really the kind of condition we would recommend you to go in. You definitely don't want breaking waves or very, very small waves. The ideal condition is mushy waves, barely crumbling, barely breaking, and just a small bump that you can ride. That's what you want to learn. So let's get out there and give you a few tips.
All right, so here we go. So your first time trying a wave, most important thing is get comfortable, learn how to let that handle off. So what you want to do is get on that swell and work on trying to find the lift so that I can slowly take that backhand off and just see what it's like as I'm on the swell.
So we made it past the waves. So now none of the swell is breaking. It's just big bumps that we could ride. Now you might notice I'm riding with foot straps and I'm riding a small board, a sinker board. You don't need to have that setup. I actually recommend to ride where you normally ride on flat water. Foot straps are tricky because if you have foot straps, that means your feet have to be in the exact right spot, otherwise it's going to be hard to ride. So now I'm going to turn around before I get in a brake zone. Having no foot straps, what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to move your feet and adjust to be in the right position. So for sure, I definitely recommend, if you are not used to riding with foot straps, ride strapless, ride your normal board that probably have a bit more volume, and that's totally fine.
So the goal is you're kind of just looking for rolling energy, right? But remember, when you get on that wave or that rolling energy, it's gonna have lift. So the hardest thing is to counteract the lift coming up with your counterweight moving forward, which is an awkward feeling. It's like going down a slope and you're trying to lean forward. If anything, you kind of freak out and you go backwards. So just kind of remember that when you get on that power. So you want to just center off your balance, little weight forward, but most importantly is you kind of want to stay in the right part of the wave, or else you'll either run out of the lift and run into the gap, we'll call it in between waves, or so this one's lining up right here, and all I'm trying to do is get nice and comfortable on the wave, and I'm gonna just let go of the power with my hands and just let the kite flag out to where the kite's above me, the wing is above me, but I'm not quite letting go of the handle because I'm just trying to feel the energy. So all I'm trying to do is get on the energy, pull in when I need power, sheet out, center my weight, and kind of ride that wave without letting go of the handle. I'm just trying to get a feel of the energy. So let's kind of get cruising along here. So I'm riding along. My goal is to look for a nice mountain or any type of ridge. I'm gonna get myself comfortable and I want you to bring that kite up, the wing up, and I want to just let off so that I can be centered on my board and I can start taking my backhand and maybe think about grabbing the front, but I want to slowly build my way into it so I can learn that process of slowly going from riding the swell and slowly building off and slowly taking one hand off, going to the front, trying to stay with it, coming back, and then getting going again. It's a great way to get started, just taking it nice and easy, not too crazy on your first rides.
What's tricky about riding waves is that all of a sudden you let the wing go and you don't have anything to hold on to help you balance yourself. So you want to get used to just riding without holding the wing. So maybe find a small bump. Of course, you are not going to be able to probably ride it for that long at the beginning, but even if you ride it for a few seconds and maybe you come down, your board come down on the water and you get your wing back and you go back again. Just small flights without the wing to help you understand the system. Basically, if you pick a wave that's too big, what's going to happen is it's going to have a lot of lift, you're going to pick up speed, and it's going to feel like the board wants to go lift very abruptly. So you might have to shift your weight more forward. All right, let's turn. All right, I see the wave. I basically get on it. I feel like I'm on it. So now I need to go to an angle to stay with the wave. If I go straight, I might outrun the wave. Now I can play when I get more advanced, go back and forth. As long as I'm on the bump, I'm good. If I outrun it, I have to turn. And then if I fall behind, then I might have to pump. And now I'm kind of on the inside, so I'm not going to turn around now. Woo! Okay, I'm on the inside, pretty safe now. I'll turn around and go out. Going over white water is not too bad. It does feel a bit of vibration for sure. You lose a bit of lift, but you want to try to avoid the break as much as you can. So you find your way out, even if it's about to break like that, we are fine.
So, most important part is taking steps, people. Look for a wave, slowly let off the power in the wing, kind of understand, center your weight off, make sure you're balanced over the board. As you get on the wave, it's going to have that front foot lift, so you might have to lean a little more forward. Just know that's all part of it. Then the next step would be slowly letting that hand off, learning how to let go and grab the front, and then quick go back. And then the next step would be actually letting go and actually riding the swell. So that's kind of the 3 stages I would take. Just nice and baby your way in. Remember, the higher I keep my foil, the higher that wing is to the top of the surface, the more lift you're gonna get in the top of that wave, versus it so low you might be below the lift. So if I keep that foil, if my board's low, I may not have it. The board's tapping. If I lift it up, all of a sudden I'm up in that lift, and I want to go at an angle. If I want to stay on the swell, if I go out in front, I may lose it. So we're gonna turn, we're gonna find a good swell, go out and see Gwen again. So most importantly is, look, it's a trial by error. Learn it, build your way into it. We're not professionals, we're just having fun just like you. And most important thing is every session you learn something, or you get reminded of something, like, you know, riding a swell all the way in and then can't get up. So, you know, take it all within reason and learn from every mistake you make, and you're just going to be better and better. That's the whole point. That's why we love this sport. You're always learning, even when the wind's dying. So let's tack out here. We're going to try one more swell here. We're going to look for that lift. Once I see it, I can slowly center my weight, let off that backhand, go to the front. Now the goal is, if I go super straight and I run into the flats, I'm going to lose all the power and the board's going to come down. So the goal is to stay a little at angle, and if I stay high on the wave, right now I'm behind the swell, so now I've lost all my lift, had to get back on the wing, and I'm going to try it again. So if I go too straight, you ride right out of the lift and there's nothing you can do. So you want to kind of ride an angle, and you want to be nice and high on your foil. You don't want to be super low, or else if my board's touching the water, that means my mass is really low to the ground, which means there's not much power underneath because I'm not in the lift. So let's jump on another swell here. Let's go through the process again. So I'm gonna look for a swell. My goal this time is to stay higher and maybe go at an angle. So I'm gonna ride along, I see the swell, I'm locked on it, I slowly let off, and I bring it to the front. I stay high, I'm gonna go a little more at an angle, and what that angle is gonna do is it's gonna keep me right where that swell is, and I can stay right on top of the ridge. If I go out into the front, I'm gonna bottom out, there's no lift right there. So I wanna stay going at the angle to make sure, and if I keep my board high, it's gonna be up in these little pieces of chop and have a lot of lift right here. So staying high is a good thing.
Okay, there's another set coming. So again, I'm gonna turn around before the wave. Let's see. I'm gonna pick, okay, that one looks pretty good. I'm gonna tack in front of it. I don't wanna come from behind the wave. I wanna be in front of it, and then I slow down, I wait for it, and now I'm on it. I'm gonna let it go, and I'm gonna turn so I make sure I stay just not quite in front of it, just on it. And then if I feel like I don't have it, I give it a few pump, but then I go to an angle, not straight. Here I pump a bit. Okay, now I'm on it. I can turn around, turn again, it gets steep. Boom, turn again. And now I'm gonna go in front. This is fun. This is why we absolutely love winging. It's light on the inside for sure. Yeah. Ah. Yeah.
Most important thing is enjoy your ride. The trick to riding a wave is get out there and put your time in, try to ride them. Try to ride swells, whether it's in a river, whether it's in a channel, it doesn't really matter. You can put time in behind a boat. More time you can put on the foil, the better. Most importantly is like when you're in that trough and you feel like you're going uphill, that means you are going uphill. You don't want to be there. That's when you're actually hitting the backside of the lift. You always want to be on the ridge. And just remember, when your foil's a little higher, you're gonna have a little more lift. You can catch those nice pieces of chop and actually get to another spot or pump to another spot. If I'm really low and my mass is low, your wing may be below the lift. So just kind of keep that in mind. But take it in baby steps. Just slowly let that backhand off. Think of taking that backhand to the front. And then slowly work your way into letting go and being able to do it. And then just everything in baby steps. You don't need to go for the first long ride forever. You can slowly work your way into it. And you can be out having the time of your life like that with Gwen. So most important thing is enjoy it. It's never easy. Even today we came out to give you a perfect explanation of it, and here I am crashing left and right. I can't even stay on my feet. And that's all part of it. So you just take it, learn from it, and keep going. Any last tips I would say for riding a wave would be, or riding any piece of chop, is to actually start turning on it. If you always feel like you're outrunning the wave, get going at an angle so you can actually ride or stay with that swell, just like a surfer would do or anybody would do. They kind of ride at an angle. And then when you start to turn, if you stay on that ridge turning, you're gonna stay in the power zone. If I outrun it, you lose the power. So the goal is to always stay on that little bit of ridge, and actually you can come in with speed and get up on the ridge, and as you come down the ridge, you're gonna accelerate and create more lift. So that can give you that speed to maybe shoot across from one little chop or one little mountain to get over to the next little mountain, to then catch it and keep going. So that's kind of the goal, is to always be looking, instead of straight down, look a little off to the sides. I know it's really weird, it's really hard, but I take myself back when I first was learning and I really was staring straight down, and I'm like looking for the swell. and all you really see is what you're gonna run into. But if you start looking through your peripheral and you look out to the sides, you'll see little ridges that you can jump on, and that's kind of the goal. So hopefully that helps you. Everybody, we love you so much, and we just really appreciate you, and we sure hope you have the time of your lives trying. And I'm gonna go try to catch up to Gwen. He literally will not stop because the waves are all time, blowing about 6. Okay, I'm lying, it's probably about 12. So make sure to like and subscribe, tell your friends. Look, we're just trying to help everybody here, so pass it on, give somebody a hug, and have the best day ever. Thanks so much. Jeez.